it's been a freaking crazy, crazy day. And one of the first deliveries that I did today was I've been working, I've been doing this since January. It's now November. And today I met the craziest, no, not the craziest, the weirdest person that I've ever met. Ever this whole year of doing deliveries. And he didn't even do anything much. He was just really, really weird and creeped me out a lot. He said to call him when I got there so that he could open up the garage door and get his pizza that way. Because his house is a corner house where the address is on one street, but the way you pull in is on the other street. So his front door is on the other street, but his garage is on the other street and driveway. So I had to go in the driveway section, and then he said he'll open the garage door. So I call, it goes straight to voicemail. I call, it goes straight to voicemail. I knock on that side of the house, that door, and nothing. And I'm looking around. All of the windows were black. It looked like all the lights in the house were off. So then I call my stepdad and I tell him what happened, and he called, and same thing, because sometimes they recognize the pizza phone, and they won't answer random phone numbers that they don't know. But same thing happened. So I said, well, he has a front room that's it's kind of like our back room, where it's like a little opening and before the front door. And I said I could try to leave it there, and he said, yeah, just do that, and then we'll just like text him or something and say where it is. But then that wound up being locked. But then I seen that there was a doorbell next to it, so I pressed it, and then all of a sudden he's behind me after opening the garage door, and he's just looking at me like a really weird look, like he just caught me trespassing or some shit, and looking through his windows or something. And I said, I tried calling you, but it just went straight to voicemail. And he's like, oh. And so I give him the pizza, and then he's like, so what's on this pizza? And I tell him, and he's like, yeah, that sounds about right. And then he said, I already tipped you on the thing, but here, and he gives me $2 more. I said, thanks. And he's like, yeah. And then he goes into the garage, and the garage door shuts behind him. And it was just, it seems normal, but it wasn't at all. It was just so weird and creepy. Like, even later on, the last delivery that I did today sounds creepier when I describe it, but it wasn't as creepy as that guy. The people, I called in for a delivery because they only had cash, and so it was like 4525 was their apartment number, building number, and then apartment number was G. And then, but they didn't know at first. She had to ask her husband or whoever the hell he was, and he told her. And then I get there, and of course it's really dark. So I get there, and oh, my brain just went blank. I get there, and I have to get my phone flashlight out because I can't see any of the building numbers, of course. So I'm like shining at the building to see where the number is. Of course, I wound up looking on the wrong side after I went back to my car and realized. But I didn't know that until after. And then they were outside sitting in lawn chairs, and she was like, over here. And so I said, 4525, and she's like, yeah. So I go back to the car, And I said, I'm sorry, I can't see the building numbers, it's too dark. She didn't say nothing. So I go back to the car, I get the food, go back over to her, tell her the price, and then she hands me the money, and her husband's sitting there next to her on the steps. And so I have the soda, and she's like, "What is that?" And I said, "It's the soda." And she's like, "Oh." I said, "Where you want me to put it?" And she's like, "Oh, right here on the sidewalk." So I did. Then I took out the pizza and the wings or garlic knots or whatever it was that they ordered. And then I said, "Where do you want this?" She didn't say nothing. He didn't say a word the whole time. And after like 10 seconds, he reaches out both of his arms and still doesn't say anything. So I just hand it to him and I say, "Okay, have a good night." And I don't even know what she said. And then I left. He said nothing the whole time. He just looked at me. And it was kind of creepy, but nothing like the first guy. I don't know how to explain it any better, but the first guy was really creepy. Really creepy. Anyway, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Bye.